Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It is Friday night at 7 p.m. It's time to talk football. But, guys, give me 30 seconds. Yes! Yes! I just can't tell. There is no screen behind me. I had some work done in my apartment. However, when I shot a video, I can adjust. I can zoom in. I was just going to zoom in, and I realized just now that I am not able to zoom in when I do a video. So you have to see some of the mess in my apartment. So bear with me. Bear with me. You're in for a treat. I am going to use DraftKings this weekend for the first time. Never used DraftKings before. And so I'm going to give you all my predictions using the DraftKings. I'm on the actual site, and what I'm going to do is after I make a deposit, after I make a video, then I'm going to go ahead and walk you through somebody using the DraftKings app for the first time. So I'm going to have that video out later on tonight, maybe tomorrow. I haven't got that ironed out yet. And then if there's some problems, probably tomorrow, because there's one game I'm going to put some action on this week. Me and Denver Gator also have the video out. Check out the description link below. And I'm going to double check to make sure everything is working correctly. And looks like we are good to go. All right. By the way, in case you're not aware, I will not be going on Wednesday. I'll be going on Tuesday. So after Monday Night Football, the next day we can talk football. So I'm going to use all the numbers off of the DraftKings site. If you have a different number, any prop bets, anything you want to go over, I will be more than happy to go over all that information. I have a energy drink. I have coffee. I am extremely jacked up. Extremely jacked up today. And again, I can't emphasize this enough. I'll be on Tuesday next week. I'll be on Tuesday. All right. Camera not working today. My camera is on. I don't have a backdrop. Is my camera? Okay, well, that would make sense here. Give me one moment here. Yeah, it's okay. Bear with me one. All right, give me one moment here. All right, apparently I am having technical difficulties. Normally I do this during the 30 seconds. Okay, yeah. Nobody can see anything. Fantastic. All right. All right, bear with me one moment. Thanks, brother. Yeah, I had no idea that. Okay. You should be good. I should be good now. I should be good now. I'm checking it out, and it looks like I'm good to go on YouTube. I also broadcast live to Facebook and Twitter. and I may change that in the future, but all right. Yeah. So okay, good. All right. Yeah. So all right. Sorry about that. That's on me. That's on me. I'm gonna, like I said, you guys got a treat today because, well, I don't have the screen behind me. I took it down. There was some work in my apartment, and I had to take it down. And I actually really like it down, but I didn't realize that. I didn't. So me and Denver Gator, we do a betting video, and I zoomed in. I didn't realize that I could not zoom in. On the camera, so you see more of the background, because I wanted it kind of zoomed in. I thought about playing around and doing something like, well, you know what? Let me see here. All right. You know what? I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. You're going to look at some of the stuff in my background. The whiteboard back there, I was going to use to do a little one-on-one video. I'll probably release that Saturday or Sunday. And then also when I do a bet on DraftKings, I'm going to have that video out, because there's one game this weekend I do want to bet on. And like I said, all my social media links are below. If you have any questions, prop bets, you're wanting to bounce something off my head before you make a bet, hit me up. Like I said, I'm going to download the DraftKings app and place a bet. I'm going to document everything. But if you're watching this right now, you're going to hear what I'm going to bet on before I make the video. I'm going to go through everything. Normally, I have a chance to do some show prep before I come on. I did not have an opportunity to do that. So anything that's come out earlier today, I missed. No, I do not. I think it's going to be a shootout. I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to be a shootout. 52.5. Last year, these two teams met in the regular season. It was 37-20. And it was actually funny. It was a low-scoring game in the playoffs until the last couple of minutes. So the weather's going to be nice. You have two high-powered offenses. You have two pretty good defenses, too. I would not recommend betting on an over or under. I do have a play for this game. I do have a play, but this is a tough game. This is a tough game. You know what? We'll skip to that. We'll skip and go straight to it. By the way, DraftKings has it as 54. So I'm curious where you got 52.5 from. Probably Bovada. I'm hesitant to say it. I'm really hesitant to say it. I like the Bills. I really do. I think the Bills have had this game circled. I think they're ready. In the playoffs, I would like Kansas City. Kansas City coming off of a short week, an emotional game against the Raiders, a game that they kind of slept for the first part. They kind of walked through. I think the Bills are just going to come out really amped up. I really believe that. And now there's some injuries on both sides of the ball, but I think the Bills are going to win this one. They're 2.5-point favorite. I think they cover. The over under. By the way, if you're betting under, you could probably get higher than 52.5. DraftKings has 54. Everybody's going to bet the over. The weather's going to be nice. I don't think the over-under on this is a solid play. What I do think is solid is if you do any in-game betting, if one of these teams jumps up big, jump all over it. You know what? Last time I tried doing this, I had some computer issues. I'm going to actually save this and I'm actually going to save this. That way we can go back and review this on Tuesday. You got 53.5. You like the over? You know what? I have a play for Arizona and Seattle. That's actually a good one, though. To be honest with you, that's a real good play. Don't forget, if you haven't already, Slasher, check out Dan Betts NFL. I'm going to have the video out today, ideally, and then I'm going to have a separate video for the DraftKings. So, but I'm actually keeping track of all of this. All right. I actually like all of these. I like all these. I'm going to give you mine. All right, cool. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. So let's just start with all the games here. You know what? I'm almost positive DraftKings is leaving the game off here. Let me double check real fast. I apologize. This is a little sloppy on my part. Okay. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna just use DraftKings information here, and again, I'm gonna come out with another video showing my actual bet. I have one play. Denver Gator says, "What's up, football nerds? Denver Gators in the house." Yeah, Denver Gators. So I took down the screen, and when me and you did our video, I could zoom in on the camera. I thought I could. The software is not set up so I can zoom in on my face so you get to see kind of the stuff in my apartment here. I had the whiteboard, which I'm using for a 101. Yeah. Matter of fact, Slasher, when we do our betting videos, if you're okay with it, I might put something in with what you do. So Lions are the home dog. James, what's up, brother? Yeah. Listen, don't be too hard. Actually, next week, Lions Cowboys is going to be a fun game. It's going to be a fun game, actually, really good. This is a great slate of games, by the way. This is a great slate of games, man. Hatter's House 710. Yo, what's up, fellas, man? Great series. Okay, cool, man. Yeah. Next week, I may put your picks in there if you hit a lot. I didn't with the betting videos. It hasn't been popular. The channel hasn't taken off. That's on me. I have to do a lot more work. This week was kind of hectic. So I didn't know you're a UCLA fan. You're okay. I didn't know you're a UCLA fan. It was funny. I was talking to Denver Gator, and I told him I have not watched near enough college football. And he gave me a few games to DVR. But UCLA is a team that is. You live in LA. Holy shit, that's awesome. UCLA is really doing a fantastic job. For those of you who don't know, Chip Kelly, he was the one he was at Oregon with Marcus Mariota, came to the NFL, tried to bring that hurry up offense to the NFL, didn't work out, had a real problem relating to NFL players. Went back to UCLA quietly, didn't make a lot of noise, and has been doing a phenomenal job recruiting and building UCLA up. And people are not talking about it, but they're soon to be one of the top teams in college football. It would not surprise me if in the next I missed it. It wouldn't surprise me if in the next couple of years they're competing for a national championship. He's doing an excellent job recruiting, and it's really smart that what he's doing. He's not going after the 5-star players. He's going after a lot of 3-star players that fit his scheme, and he's doing a fantastic job. I was wondering, you'd have to tell me this, is that how big of a job is UCLA in the college football landscape? Because if another bigger job comes up, would he want to jump ship? I.e., Wisconsin. I think that would probably offer a little more money. I don't know the terms of his contract, but if he stays in UCLA, next couple of years, they will compete for a national championship. He's doing a phenomenal job there. He's an excellent coach. So, oh, dude, going to the Michigan game tomorrow, first time inside, dude. You have all my links. If you can you like send me some pictures, videos? I've only been to Missouri Stadium. I'm drawing a blank with what it's called. They do this thing where they score first down, they chant MIZ, and then the other half the ZOU. And after like the first quarter, it's like, please don't get another. It's so annoying. But yeah, that's awesome. You live in LA, man. Lions fans shouldn't be upset. Honestly, I think we all forget they're still in the middle. Yeah, I mean, you have it. Your first round pick that you traded up for is not played yet. I still think that's a mistake. The plan was to use this year's 2 first round draft picks to trade up for a quarterback. So, it's going to be awesome. But yeah, I only expected 7 wins, but the games were missed. Yeah. So here's the deal. I've watched a lot of Hard Knocks. Before Hard Knocks, I said 7. After Hard Knocks, I said 5. I've watched a lot of Hard Knocks, and you could tell a bad team. You could tell a bad team when you see one. And unfortunately, they looked like a bad team. It was kind of sad. But I will say this: after seeing Hard Knocks, though, I'm really pulling for the Lions and really pulling for Dan Campbell. But I think he's a guy that would be much better suited on the college level. That rah stuff, it really doesn't work in the NFL. It really doesn't work in the NFL, and it does have a lot of success on the college level, though. So, they have promising young, yeah. Man, the defense. Ooh. I think Aaron Glenn's in trouble. I really do. I know he's widely respected in NFL circles, but I think he's in trouble. I really, really think he's in trouble. So I forgot. Yeah. I forgot they're playing Penn State. I used to be a diehard Penn State fan, but that's going to be a good one. Yeah, honestly, I took the Lions on the spread against Seahawks. All I could say was a nail biter through and through. Yeah, okay. Yeah, please do. Please do. Of all the college stadiums, I would want to see the Big House as one of them. And I haven't been up to Michigan in a very, very, very long time. Panthers, for example. Well, you know what? Let me do this here. I got my games that I'm going to go over all the games. I'm using DraftKings, so some of the numbers may be different. Well, seriously, Stevenson is built very similar to Derrick Henry. The size speed combination. I don't think he's got the same running instincts that Derrick Henry has, but size, speed, it's actually extremely similar. Derrick Henry, I think, is a natural runner. I don't know about Stevenson, but I remember watching him at Oklahoma. His very last game, he was MVP of I want to say the Sugar Bowl, maybe it was the Orange Bowl. And I was like, oh my God, because he was 250 and he hurdled somebody for whatever reason. I don't know, his health or whatever. He didn't play a lot in college, so like the wear and tear on him. But this is a guy who's got like just the craziest upside. And the thing is with New England is they have a very powerful old school offensive line that can really beat you up. I actually think that they're gonna. The Patriots are a team that I think people are really sleeping on. And I think that this is a team that if once they hit their stride, this could be a really, really scary team. This could be a really scary team. So anyway, let's get going here. I'm assuming it doesn't say. I believe the bottom team is the home team. Is this right? All right. I'm going to assume the bottom team's the home team. I believe that's correct. All right. I actually don't know. I don't know, but seriously, this is a guy who one day could lead the NFL in rushing. And the reason why is that you have a huge offensive line. And one thing the Patriots did that I really like is they added some speed in the offseason. And Tristan Thompson, their second round pick, I think he's on IR. But like once he gets involved in the offense, you have a deep threat that they didn't have last year. Same thing with Devontae Parker. I thought it was a great pickup. I think it was a 5th round pick. Stevenson's a guy who could lead the NFL in rushing someday. Not this year. He's got the potential, but seriously, next year if he leads the NFL in rushing. So, boys, how about them Eagles? Give me a scare last week. D coordinator's not just. You know what? I really think that the Eagles kind of were overlooking the Cardinals a little bit. I think that they really kind of were circling this game. But I also think the Cardinals are a little better than people think. So anyway, I'm going to go through some of the games because I do have a take on Arizona and Seattle. So first game, Jets at Green Bay. Green Bay's a 7-point favorite. The over/under is 45.5. God, Green Bay's offense has kind of been kind of hectic, and hectic wasn't the right word I wanted to use. I firmly think Green Bay wins this game. I'm not sold on the Jets. 7's a big number. But you put a gun to my head, I'd say Green Bay covers. This is a game I think Green Bay really comes to life on. And God, excuse me. And I'm just double checking because I could swear that the home field here is not right. I have this fly who's okay. Okay, this is right. Okay, I didn't think this was, but okay. So I would take Green Bay. I think Green Bay wins this game. Like if you're in a Survivor Series and you need to pick a winner, I mean Green Bay, I think really wins this one. I don't buy the Jets are for real. Them being 3-2 is kind of strange for them. Green Bay coming off of the London game, I'd be kind of weary because no bye week after traveling to London. Is there an effect? I think this is a team that's going to be really amped up to play the Jets. I think they would cover, but I love the money line, even though it's negative 315. You have to bet 315 to win 100. I get that's a big, it's more than 3-1, but I do like Green Bay to cover. I haven't checked the weather report, but I do definitely think they win. Next game, Tampa Bay at Pittsburgh. I actually thought this game was in Tampa Bay. That's what I was checking out. Pittsburgh's a 9.5 point home dog. The over/under is 46. God, I mean, my first reaction is to take the under. Again, I didn't check the weather report for this one. I know that there's a lot of hype against Pittsburgh right now, and you got a rookie quarterback. You're going against a good defense. Everything looks bad for the Steelers, but I mean, Tomlin's a Hall of Fame coach. He's never had a losing season. 9.5. I actually like Pittsburgh to cover in this game. I think this game is going to be a lot closer than people think. Tampa Bay's not that good. They really aren't. So I mean, I really like Pittsburgh to cover here. This might be one I take advantage of. Of course, I thought that they would cover last week against Buffalo. So I'm going to get to it. Funk, what's up, brother? Yeah, no, man, no green screen, man. No green screen here. You get to see the messy apartment, see the whiteboard in the background. I don't know if I'm going to put it back up or not, to be honest. I kind of like, I have a 1-bedroom apartment, and when you take the green screen down, it just really opens up. I had no idea how it just makes the apartment look a lot bigger. Really kind of like it. Next game, Baltimore at New York. Baltimore is now a 5.5 point favorite. The over under is 45.5. I love Baltimore to win this game. Aaron redemption. Yeah. Aaron redemption game. Jets got lucky because yeah, exactly. I really like Green Bay. Like 7's a big number, but I really feel confident Green Bay would cover. Baltimore at New York. Baltimore's 5.5 point favorite. I love Baltimore to win this game. I think this could be a really, really close game. The over-under is 45.5. I would lean towards the under, but I really like Baltimore in this game. I don't know if they can cover 5.5. I don't know if they can cover 5.5. But I really like Baltimore. By the way, if you listen to my show Wednesday, I have no faith in either the Jets or the Giants. I think they're flukes. And by the way, I think the NFL is a lot better when New York has winning teams. I really believe that. The Jets haven't been good in a while, but when the Giants are good, I think the NFL overall is better. I really believe that. I'm not a fan of New York. I'm not, but I think the NFL is just better when the New York teams are good. I really believe that. But I think the Giants are winning games of smoke and mirrors. If Barkley stays healthy, they can make the playoffs. I have no confidence he'll stay healthy. One of the most athletically gifted running back in the NFL. No confidence in him staying healthy. Next game, San Francisco at Atlanta. Atlanta is a 5-point home dog. The over-under is 45. I think I saw something crazy where the 49ers, it's like 15 points a game. The defense has been playing lights out. If you watch my show Wednesday, D'Amico Ryans is a prime head coach candidate. He's a 49ers defensive coordinator. He's the guy that I would really target if I was the Carolina Panthers. I think, of course, Sean Payton's going to be the first guy. Excuse me. Oh, man. Bear with me. I'm dealing with some allergies. I promise it's allergies. It's not anything else, but the one thing I do have a question about is because Marcus Mariota is actually playing a lot better than I thought he would. A mobile quarterback could kind of throw things off. And my gut reaction would be San Francisco would cover, and also the under because Atlanta's been playing better defense. The over-under is 45. It is in Atlanta. My gut reaction is under in San Francisco. I'd be very cautious about betting this game, though. As much as I like the 49ers defense, I'm not really convinced. By the way, AJ Terrell, hopefully he plays a lot of one-on-one against Deebo Samuel, maybe the best corner in football nobody knows about. AJ Terrell, Falcons corner, maybe the best corner in football. They have him trailed the number one guy, plays lights out. This is very, all right, my computer's doing some goofy stuff. This is very interesting because this line just changed. This went from 3.5 to 3, which is huge. Minnesota at Miami. Minnesota was a 3.5 point favorite. Now they're 3. I love Minnesota at 3. I hate 3.5. bottom line, I have some questions about both teams. I'm not really sold on the Vikings. I'm definitely not sold on Miami. I don't know about the injury report. I know Tyreek Hill was in a boot. I think he's going to play. I don't know who's going to play the quarterback. I'm really paying attention to the injury report on this one. Really got to pay attention on the injury report on this one. However, if you're going without Bridgewater, taking Minnesota in 3, I think it's a no-brainer. It is in Miami. The over-under is 45.5. I would lean towards over, but I mean, if Skylar Thompson's the quarterback, I normally do a lot more show prep. I don't know the injury report situation. I'm eyeballing this because if it's not Bridgewater and you can get 3, take that all day long. I like Minnesota with or without Bridgewater to cover 3. It was 3.5, which I hate the hook. For those of you who don't know, the 0.5 is called the hook. The 0.5's made Vegas a lot of money over the years. That was a quote from Denver Gator in one of my betting videos. Definitely want to check that out. Cincinnati at the Saints. Saints are a 3-point home dog. God, this is a fun game. This is a real okay. Of all the games, like this is one that you kind of want to skip over because there's some really great games on the docket here. But this is a fun one because one of these teams that whoever's losing is really kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit. Now, the NFC South with Tampa Bay not being as good as expected is you can lose this game if you're the Saints and still be in a running, but the loser is really kind of going to be behind the 8 ball here. This is going to be a fun game. I actually really looking forward to this one. Where I'm at in the country, I'm probably not going to be able to watch it. I really want to see the rebroadcast of this one. The injury report for the Saints is really big. Pay attention to that. If a lot of these guys are healthy, this may jump to 3.5. My gut reaction is to take the Saints, but you definitely check the injury report. Kamara's a question mark. Michael Thomas is a question mark. I think Andy Dalton's going to be a starting quarterback. I'm pretty sure on Dalton. With the Bengals, I have no idea. If you're going to bet on this one, check out the injury report. I do like the Saints. Oh, God. Allergies are really messing with me. Yeah, Funk. AJ Terrell is just playing lights out. I would take AJ Terrell over Terrell Diggs any day of the week. One of the best corners in football. If he was on a winning team, he would get a lot more credit. Honestly, by the end of this year, people might be calling AJ. If Atlanta wins 9 or more games, which probably won't happen, more people would probably say AJ Terrell is the best corner in football. No disrespect to Jalen Ramsey, who I love his game. No disrespect to Ramsey at all, but it's just a matter of time before people start to realize this is the best corner in football. He's that good. Hindsight, yeah. Going into the draft, no. Because going into the draft, no. Hindsight, yes. And the reason why I say that is because I had Okudah rated higher than Ward, who was the 4th overall pick. And Ward's been to a couple Pro Bowls. Remember, just signed a $100 million contract. So here's the Ohio State corner room. It went from Lattimore to Ward to Okudah. And out of those 3, I had Lattimore's the best. Then I had Okudah ranked over Ward, and Ward's been to several Pro Bowls. I didn't like him going to the Lions because Patricia, number one, Patricia didn't want him. Patricia wanted Simmons instead, if I remember right. You'd have to educate me on this. And I got an argument with a Lions fan because he was trying to tell me that he plays the same defense at Ohio State that Patricia's going to run. And I tried explaining to this guy the defense that Matt Patricia runs doesn't even exist in college because Patricia is trying to run a very complex man scheme, and you can't throw a rookie corner into that type of complex scheme and expect him to succeed. And then he had some injuries, which didn't help. But during the draft, I would have taken Okudah over Terrell, but I love Terrell. I love Terrell in the draft. And of course, hindsight, you got to take Terrell. But it's really just a matter of time for people to start calling AJ Terrell the best corner in football. It's just a matter of time. Not just hindsight. I had no faith in Okudah. Oh, okay. If you're a Clemson fan, yeah. If you watched AJ Terrell play, for those of you who don't know, this was like a 5-star corner. There was one knock on him coming out, and I'm drawing a complete blank, but there was something that had him rated lower. I had Okudah ranked significantly higher because I had him ranked over Ward, who was the 4th overall pick by Cleveland and just signed $100 million. So, but I didn't think that either one of these guys worked in. If AJ Terrell went to Detroit and Detroit was playing the same defense, and by the way, AJ Terrell's a better man corner than Okudah coming out, but I don't think Terrell would have had the level of success he's had in Atlanta. And that's just because Patricia had a hard time, relating to players. And I don't think that they would have gotten along. I just a hunch. Patricia wanted Brown and Sim. Okay. So, my mistake. Okay. Yeah. And I remember now. Yeah, you're right. So anyway, I loved Brown. I thought Brown was the number 2 player. I really thought he was going to be a stud. As of right now, it looks like definition of bust. I loved Brown because I really thought that he could play multiple schemes. I think he could stuff to run. I thought he could rush. I saw like a poor man's Ndamukong Suh in Brown. And okay, so I got that mixed up. My apologies. One Pride, what's up? Last few Thursday night. You know what? I really, God, this fly is driving me nuts. I actually really enjoyed Thursday night football, and I said I was going to. I meant to start off the show talking about Thursday night football. I got distracted. Roquan Smith is a defensive player of the year. That was my take. Brian Robinson. I love Brian Robinson. Okay. For those of you who don't know, sat on the bench for 4 years at Alabama, then got his chance to start, had a great year, ran a terrible 40 times. So it kept him out of, I think he was 4th or 5th round pick right before the season started, was shot twice in an attempted carjacking, came back and, had his first NFL touchdown. And, Washington looks like a disaster. They really got lucky. If you watch the game, the 3rd round rookie out of Tennessee fumbled the punt. A guy I really like, Belvis Jones, I think it is. I really love that kid. I thought that was a great pickup for Chicago. Chicago, and then Fields had some good plays. I liked the game. But yeah, I can't remember. I think this, hold on, what is it? I got it up here. Okay. Next Thursday is going to be Saints and Cardinals. That's maybe going to be a dud also. So never watched it. Looking at prime games, the first game was fire. Yeah, to be honest, next week, Cardinals and Saints probably isn't going to be very good. Roquan, okay. I kind of wanted to talk about this because if I'm Roquan Smith and I'm the Chicago Bears, I try to move him. And the reason why is that you have so many holes on that team. And Roquan Smith is the defensive player of the year. I really believe that he's the best defense player in football. No disrespect to Aaron Donald or Von Miller or whoever you want to put. Me and Denver Gator actually were talking like, where would you trade him? I think the logical spot would be Seattle. That makes a lot of sense to me. But if you're a player away, especially on the defensive side of the ball, making a move for Roquan Smith. Now, keep in mind, he's going to get more than 20. He asked for 20. Actually, he wanted Shaquille Barrett money, and I think his contract is 4-year, $90 million, or like 85, 88, something like that. But Shaquille Barrett's getting over 20 million, and that's what Roquan Smith asked for. The Bears were hardcore. They were like, no, we can't pay over 20 million for an off-ball linebacker. And at the time it made sense. Now it doesn't make sense. You're looking at Roquan Smith being the best defensive player in football. My gut reaction is that the Bears are going to try and keep him. But if I was Chicago, I would try to trade him immediately, get as much as you can. And that's if you're going to build around Justin Fields. If you want to move on from Fields, maybe you keep Smith, draft another quarterback. It's going to be a very interesting story. If I'm Chicago, I move him. And by the way, he's getting more than 20. I mean, he really is my defensive MVP. I'll be honest. I don't think Chicago really knows what they're doing. I really don't. I think the plan is that. So what happened is you're right about this, Funk. You're 100% right. So let me here's the deal with Chicago. When Matt Nagy took over, the worst thing he did was his rookie season. He won 12 games. Because that was the standard. They were not a 12-win team. And then remember, they lost in the first round of the playoffs. That was the worst thing he could have done, is because the Bears were expecting 12 wins. Well, when you have, I think it was 5 straight double-digit losses, and then you go up to 12, what happens? You come back down. And Chicago's a tough sports town. I mean, they're once the Bears went 12-4, I knew the time was ticking on Nagy, because he wasn't going to recreate that. And he did remember that team really kind of got lucky in several games. They weren't a 12-win team. And here's an offensive guy, and he had a great defense, and he had all sorts of question marks on offense. New York, did I say it was the toughest? New York's a tough sports town. Yeah. I mean, Chicago is too. Bottom line, though, the worst thing Nagy did was win 12. So when they went ahead and they brought in Andy Dalton in Fields, like, he mismanaged the whole situation. And it was really tough. I don't know the whole. I do know Nagy won 12 games. He went to the playoffs, lost in the first round. And it was obvious the next year the team was really like an 8-win team. And honestly, Nagy may still be there if they won 7 games his first year, and then you got better and better and better and better. But, I mean, Chicago doesn't have a quarterback. Fields is basically a rookie with a lot of talent, but I mean, just in a tough spot. And somebody put in, like, I've never seen a quarterback look this bad and then go on to have any success. And that's not true at all. I mean, Josh Allen's first 2 years, he didn't look good. But the difference is between Josh Allen and Fields is that Josh Allen had the same offensive coordinator, and he kept on building, on that team. Where Chicago, they're subtracting. They have a terrible offensive line. Montgomery's been hurt. They get rid of Allen Robinson. I mean, it's kind of a disaster what's going on with Fields, So I have no idea what Chicago really, really is trying to do. Yeah, no, that was a mistake, trading for Mac. So if I'm the Bears, you can do one of two things. You can build around Roquan Smith, and that's great. And then you can build around Justin Fields, and that works. But like you got to start next year, and the problem is you're already a first year head coach, and you got to have a better play. You got to have a better plan in play. So. I don't agree with this, but I think history will prove that you're right. I really think it's a bad situation. I really think it's a bad situation that he's in. I really, really do. And so what it is, if you're wondering, I have a sugary, even though it's sugar free, and the lights attract. Yeah, so the fly is driving me nuts. I don't agree with this, but I think history is going to prove that to be wrong, because I think that here's what would have to happen. If you build with Fields, you got to, like, this year's just learning experience, learn everything you can. And then the second year, you have to add. You got to get a receiver. Cole Kmet's a solid tight end. He's never going to be like a Travis Kelce type of player, but you have to get like a stud wide receiver. You got to fix that offensive line. You got to add like maybe 3 or 4 new starters on that offensive line. There's so much that you got to do. But yeah. That's pretty funny. What I think is going to happen is that the head coach and Fields are going to get one more year in 2023, and I don't think it'll work out. And I think both will be gone in 2024. That's kind of my gut reaction. But let's continue here. New England at Cleveland. Cleveland's a 2.5-point favorite at home. I actually love New England here. I think New England's getting better and better. If I remember right, there's some high wind in Cleveland. I think it's a 15-mile-an-hour wind. For those of you who follow me, I say this over and over again. Rain and snow does not affect NFL teams, but wind does. You always want to take the under on windy days. It's going to be 15-mile-an-hour wind. Over-under is 43. Kind of like the under in this one. I like New England a lot. You can get 2.5. You can win outright. This was not one of the games I was going to bet on, but I may put some action on New England. It may be a smaller bet, but I do like New England. I do like New England here. Next game, Jacksonville at Indianapolis. Indianapolis 2.5-point favorite. I have not checked the injury report. Jonathan Taylor's been practicing and he's good to go. I love the Colts here. UCF Jaguar, a guy that I love. He hasn't been on my show in a while. He has a pretty cool YouTube channel, talks Jaguars. A couple weeks ago, he announced the Jaguars are good, and I'm like, slow down, slow down, and you're going to realize that they are not good. I really like the Colts here. 2.5. If Jonathan Taylor's 100%, really love the Colts here. This is an interesting game. This is a very, very interesting game. Carolina at the Rams. Rams are a 10-point home favorite. Over-under is 41.5. Now, this is gambling 101. Actually, this is more sports betting or NFL betting 102. When a team fires a head coach, the new head coach almost always wins that first game. Almost always. Lions fans, remember when Patricia was fired, the interim head coach came in and they won against Chicago. Not the best example. But I by the way, Denver Gators speaking the truth here. I mean, it's 43. I love New England covering. 43 is such a low number, but I like this a lot. But I'm telling you right now, teams with a first year or first time new head coach after the coach gets fired almost always wins. Going to LA and winning, I don't know, but can you go to LA and cover 10? The only thing preventing me is that I just think Carolina's a disaster. They're going with PJ Walker, who I honestly think may be their best quarterback. You may have a very interesting game plan. I also think the Rams are really starting to feel the pressure. The offensive line's so terrible in LA, but I can't do it. I really can't do it, but I really want to pick Carolina to cover 10. I really want to do it. I don't have the guts. I really want to pick Carolina to cover 10. I just don't have the guts. That's honestly the truth. Arizona at Seattle. Seattle is now a 2-point favorite. This was 3, then 2.5. Today it is 2. I'm assuming it has to do with some injury report issues. I'm following the injury report on this one. However, last night, when me and Denver Gator were making a video, this is the game I'm going to bet on. I love Arizona. If I can get under 3, I want to take Arizona. I'm going to double check the injury report, but this is why you watch the show. This is the game I'm going to bet on. I love Arizona. I know it's a division game on the road. Bottom line, Arizona, they kept it close. The Amendola doesn't miss that field goal, goes into overtime. Who knows? Seattle's not that good of a team. I love Arizona this week. That's the game I'm going to bet on. I'm going to double check the injury report because something did happen for them to go from 3 to 2. That's a pretty big jump over the last 24 hours. But if everything works out, then if the injury report's the way I think it's going to be, then Arizona 2 points. That's my pick. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to release the video that me and Denver Gator have tonight. And then I'm going to release a separate video with me using DraftKings. That way you can just see what it's like to use the app and a new time subscriber. I thought that'd be interesting. And then I also have a 101 video that I'm going to try to get out with the whiteboard. And I'm going to try to do that this weekend also. I had a busy weekend. We talked about this already. Buffalo at Kansas City. Kansas City's a 2.5-point home dog. First time in Mahomes' history he's been a home dog. I hate to say it. I like Buffalo in this game. I really, really hate to say it. Yeah, that's. So last night he was questionable. If he's out, I may chicken out. I forget his name, Benjamin, 7th round pick out of Arizona State. Really like that kid. Really like him a lot. I really like that kid a lot, but I don't know. With Connor out, that may sway me. He was questionable. So no, he's been playing decent. I think Arizona's defense is really going to do a number on him, though. Arizona's had good luck against Seattle in the past. Also, they've played against Geno last year, so they know what they're getting. This isn't like a lot of other teams that like you see Geno Smith for the first time, you don't know what you're expecting. I think Arizona will know what they're expecting. Connor is something I'm kind of watching because he was questionable last night. If he's out, that may get me to chicken out. But I still like Arizona quite a bit. I think they're a much better team. By the way, also, have you ever seen? No, I've never seen it. So I've seen the movie. I didn't like the movie that much. It was just. All right. So I missed. There's a fly who's been like swarming around this whole show. I do have like a spray bottle right here, but I got like open containers. I've never seen it. Didn't like the movie, and I'm going to ruin the movie for you. So what happens in the end? The head coach who's been there for. It's Texas high school football. No, No, you know what? I apologize. I apologize. No, I got the movies mixed up. Oh God, I feel like such an idiot. Friday Night Lights was with Billy Bob Thornton. That's a great movie. That's a great movie. Varsity Blues was the one I was thinking of. That's not good. Friday Night Lights is fantastic with Billy Bob Thornton as the coach. Phenomenal, phenomenal. I'm so embarrassed. I got Varsity Blues and Friday Night Lights mixed up. But Friday Night Lights, the TV show, never seen it. Never seen it. I have a feeling I wouldn't like it. By the way, we've been talking about Thursday nights being bad. Everybody got hurt in the movie. Friday Night Lights, the movie was amazing. That was a really good movie. Billy Bob Thornton's amazing. I thought it was one of his best performances. I'm a Billy Bob Thornton fan. He was in this Amazon show called Goliath, which the first season was just brilliant. Afterwards, it kind of went downhill, but he's amazing. He's amazing. I'm a Billy Bob Thornton fan. And we talked about Thursday night games being bad. Sunday and Monday is phenomenal. Kudos to NFL Network. Sunday night, it's funny because you got Bills and Chiefs late in the afternoon. You follow that up with Dallas Philly. If you can't get on board with Dallas at Philly, I don't know what to tell you. This is going to be a fun game. Philly's a massive 6.5 point favorite. Over under is 42. I didn't check the weather report. 42 is a small number, but I gotta like it. But French fry. I have no idea. French fried taters. I have no idea what you're talking. But if you're a football fan, how do you not love Dallas, Philly? I mean, first place is on the line for the NFC East. Philly's undefeated streaks on the line. Dallas has been playing phenomenal. And here's the deal. But Dallas is built to be a run-heavy team that relies on its defense. Mike McCarthy wants to run a pass-heavy team that's defense is so. And by the way, he won a Super Bowl in Green Bay like that way. And it's funny because with Prescott being injured, you're leaning on your big physical offensive line. You got two really. I'm not sure Pollard's not better than Zeke. I really believe that Pollard's actually better. I mean, I 100% believe that. 100% believe that. Oh, it's like I've never seen Sling Blade, so give me Dallas to beat Philly. Good luck. I'm telling. I think Philly's the best team in the NFC right now, and I love them at home. Love them at home. 6.5 is a big number. I would lean towards Dallas covering 6.5, and I'd lean towards the under. This says like 21-17 written all over it. I really think Philly wins. I don't think they cover 6.5. So, Gary, man, I haven't seen you in a while. Ravens really like this. This is now. Here's the deal. This is really one of the more interesting games. I really don't. No clue. I love. He was in something called Goliath, which the first season was amazing. It's gone downhill, and then Friday Night Lights. He was in some movie that I watched, a really old. I won't say really old, but like a 2000 movie. John Cusack and him they try to rip people off. It's a really good movie. But anyway, like I have no idea. I I just seriously, Sling. What's somebody do this for me? Email or send me a message with that movie, and I'll watch it. Probably not this weekend, but I will watch it. This is a great game, Gary. Really great game. And I like Baltimore, but there's some interesting notes in this game. Wink Martindale, the Ravens defensive coordinator last year, he was replaced by the former linebacker coach. He went from linebacker coach to defensive coordinator at Michigan, went to Baltimore to be the defensive coordinator. Wink Martindale, world-class defensive coordinator, doing a phenomenal job. He plays against his old team. That's an interesting thing. You got Saquon Barkley against a pretty good defense. It's going to be a fun game. This is a game that I have no idea because I'm in the Kansas City area. I'm not really sure. I think if I had to guess, I think what they're going to do is put Cleveland, New England on, and then probably Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh. I'll have 2 games on locally. I'm going to watch the games at the Chiefs game at my dad's, who doesn't have the NFL Red Zone, unfortunately. But when I get home, I got to watch a lot of football because I'm gonna miss like a large part of the early games. So like when I get back after watching the Chiefs game, I'm gonna watch a little. The way it's going to work is I'm going to get caught up on a little bit, and then I'm going to watch Dallas Philly. But I like the Ravens to win. I don't like them to cover. So this, by the way, Ravens Giants going to be a very good game. Somebody message me, man. Somebody message me. Dallas has the highest pressure rate. Philly has a good offensive line and a great. And here's why I like Philly. Their running game is amazing, and they use Hurts. And by the way, I know I'm talking out both sides of my mouth here because I've said that the Bills run Josh Allen too much, and Hurts running the ball. You don't want to have a quarterback running that much, but it works. And here's the thing, I really think that Hurts is going to have a big game. I think he's the MVP right now, and I think he's going to earn the MVP against a really good defense. But Philly is the one thing about Dallas is that you can run against them. They have a smaller defensive line, especially when Michael Parsons plays defensive end, so you can run against this team. Now they are banged up a little bit on the offensive line. Philly is. But I really think that what you're going to see is Philly take advantage of a Dallas team that's not that good against stopping the run. If Dallas gets up big in this game, then I could see the pass rush really kind of taking over. But I don't see any team. I don't see either one of these teams really. The fun thing about this game, both these teams have the same game plan. Both these teams want to run the ball. Both these teams want to control the clock. And I think both these teams really want a low-scoring game. I don't think either one of these teams really want to get into a shootout, especially Dallas. But I think Philly is winning games because they have a good defense and they're able to run the ball. Dallas is their strength isn't really stopping the run. It really isn't. So that's why I really like Philly in this game. I think Philly's going to be able to run the ball, and I think Hurts is going to kind of like, hey, I'm MVP. I really think Hurts is saying I'm MVP. And by the way, the score could be 21-17, and Hurts can still have an MVP type performance. I really believe that. This will be kind of like the Hurts coming out party, is in my opinion. If Dallas wins, they're in first place. But I really think this is where Hurts establishes himself as the lead MVP candidate in a good win. So. Somebody send me a link to what movie you're talking about, and I'll check it out. I actually, believe it or not, I read the book. I read the book in high school. I'd never seen the movie. I read the book. Actually, not a bad book. And my bad, the Eagles barely beat the Lions. I understand. I hate night games, man. 8:20, I'm out cold by 10. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one for everything that's wrong with the Thursday night games. Sunday and Monday are some really good ones. Sunday and Monday is some really good ones. You get Dallas and Philly, and then you get Denver at LA. And I think both these games are going to be a lot of fun. Lamar Jackson should eat up their defense since he knows the coordinator scheme. You're saying, how do you see the Giants finishing as far as the record? No, I'm not saying that at all. I actually think just the opposite. I think Wink Martindale could keep Lamar Jackson in check. I think actually just the opposite. But as far as the Giants, the $1 million question with the Giants is always going to be Saquon Barkley. If he's healthy, 10 the whole year, that's not going to happen. As soon as you take Barkley away from that team, you're probably looking at them really struggling to win games. I mean, Barkley's such an amazing talent. If Barkley finishes the season playing 17 games, which he won't, I think that they could be a 10-win team because I think the defense is really playing lights out. And the defense has got a lot of young talent. And Thibodeau is just learning how to play. Remember, he was injured in preseason, that very questionable call. You got Ojulari on the other side. I'm drawing a complete blank. Leonard Williams, I'm sorry, I forgot who that was for a minute. He's also been banged up. So like they don't even have the defense isn't even at full strength. And the defense is going to be good. All right. The offense is painful to watch. You take Barkley away from this is a team that struggled to get 15 points. You take Barkley away from that offense. It's tough to watch. So that's kind of my thing is that with Barkley on the team, seriously, if the Giants are a team, if they can get to the playoffs with a healthy Barkley, I would not want to play them because in the playoffs, I literally could see Barkley getting 40 touches in a playoff game. I'm not exaggerating when I say this. I really could see him doing 30 carries, 10 receptions. I'm not even exaggerating. And the defense is solid. But without Barkley, that offense is garbage. And they're in a surprisingly good division. Not a lot of people thought the NFC East would be any good, but both Dallas and Philly are significantly better. So it's all going to depend on Barkley. They have Jason Peters starting. LOL. It's going to get bad for him, whether it's Reddick Sweat. Well, it's kind of interesting because they're playing him at guard. Last I saw, and I haven't double checked yet, but just brain freeze. I can't believe I forgot his name. Okay, so their left tackle who's been injured, Tyron Smith. Okay, Tyron Smith is back at left tackle. They're having Peters at guard, and then they have Tyler Smith, their rookie out of Tulsa, who was playing at left tackle, who I thought would play guard. But he actually played pretty well at left tackle when Tyron Smith was out. So they're putting him at right tackle, and I think right tackle could be a good spot. For those of you who don't know, Tyler Smith out of Tulsa, I think would be a phenomenal guard. This is a guy who's got kind of built to be an NFL guard. He's 6'5", 330. A+ athleticism, but I thought that as a tackle, as a guard, A+ athleticism. Like I said, they're using him at left tackle. So if you get a guy who can hold his own at left tackle as a rookie, that's very hard to do. You put him inside, you're getting something special. But he was a redshirt sophomore coming out who's just got a massive amount of potential. I just thought guard was his best position, not tackle. But if they put him on the outside at right tackle, they got Jason Peters next to him, which really works good because this is a guy who, I mean, if you want to argue redshirt sophomore shouldn't be in the NFL, you can. I hear that. I get it. I mean, you could say, hey, this guy should be in college. He's good enough to play in the NFL, though. He's really like seriously, he should be amazing. So you got Jason Peters on the inside. And then you got the other guard. I'm drawing a blank on his name too. I should just pull up their depth chart, but I'm not going to. The offensive line's solid, and they got two really good running backs. But you have a very good Philly defense, so it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Really, I like Malkovich. One of my favorite. Oh, this is a good one. Do you see the Giants trading for anyone at the deadline? What draft picks would they give up? I'll be honest. They've never, ever, ever have done this. This is okay. So it's a Giant staple that you skimp on inside linebackers. All right. They've never paid inside linebackers a lot of money. I mean, ever since Pepper Johnson, that's like the one position that the Giants have always said that like edge rusher, corner, quarterback, receiver will pay all those guys. Inside linebacker, they don't. I would love to see the Giants go for Roquan Smith. I would love to see it, and I would love to see them like unload, try to get rid of Galladay, which I mean, he's not even playing. I mean, you're paying him an ass load of money. I could see them moving on from Galladay. Another brain freeze on the receiver out of Florida, a guy I absolutely loved, and they used a second round pick on a lesser version of him. I'm drawing a complete blank on the guy's name. Receivers. All right. So I can see the Giants moving on from several receivers. I could also I would love to see the Giants get Roquan Smith. I would love to see it, but they've never done that. And that I think would make a lot of sense. I really think that would make a lot of sense. But I don't think they do it. I do think that they try to get rid of a receiver for a draft pick. And the reason why is because they are going to move on from Daniel Jones. Like this is a no-brainer. When you're a new head coach, you usually want to bring in your own guy. I think that they were going into this offseason and like, okay, who's going to be the guy? Like, who can we get? Okay, well, Daniel Jones is our best option this year, but they didn't sign up for the 5th-year option. He's played good enough that they're able to win games. He's not the long-term answer. And to be honest with you, I think Daniel Jones kind of in a bad situation in New York. I think that he's a guy that seriously, don't be surprised if he like ends up at somewhere else as a starter and does well. I mean, don't be surprised to take a place like Tampa Bay where Brady's going to retire. The Saints, I think they could move on from Winston. Andy Dalton's not going to be there after this next year. Put Daniel Jones on one of those teams, and then he could be successful. There's a lot of things to like about Daniel Jones, but I think that they really wanted to move on and get their own guy. And it may not be a rookie. It may not be a rookie. They may just want to move on and get something different. For those of you who don't know, Brian Daboll was from Buffalo. There was talks about Trubisky going to New York at one point. I really think that they want something different. I was going to say they want a mobile. Daniel Jones is mobile, but I think that they just want something different. I mean, there's several quarterbacks that are going to be available. In Carolina, all quarterbacks are available. Sam Darnold, who's been out for several weeks, he's a guy I think still a viable option as an NFL starter. I don't think Baker Mayfield's going to be considered as a starter. quarterback who's starting in Cleveland right now. I'm drawing a blank on his name too. I'm drawing a complete blank on his name. Brissett. He's a guy I actually think that should get a legitimate chance to start. I mean, there's a lot of different things that can happen. And by the way, it's also a solid draft. So yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one. I don't know. I actually don't know Timothy Johnson, man. You don't look familiar, man. So, man, welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up when you come in. By the way, when you come into the show, give me a thumbs up right away, man. It helps me out. I think he's going to play. I don't know. I really don't know. The Blitz predicts. What's up, brother? Let's go, man. Hit all your bet. I got one. I got one. I'm going to double check, but I like Arizona this week. I really like Arizona. Arizona at Seattle right now. Arizona 2 points. Flex spot. AJ Dillon, Jay Waddle, Levis, healthy stud. Pick one. Ooh boy. God. I would go with Waddle, and the reason why I would go with Waddle is I don't know what's going on with Tyreek Hill, but he's in a walking boot. So my reaction would be to go with Waddle. I really like why I kind of want to go with Dillon in a way. It depends. I mean, here's the deal. Dillon's probably going to score a touchdown. Like out of these three, Dillon's the most likely to score a touchdown. So it depends on what your league is. If your league has if your league's a little more towards yardage than Waddle, because I think Waddle out of these guys is going to have the biggest yardage day. Dillon's more likely to score a touchdown. Olave, I even if he does play, he's not going to be 100%. I would stay away from Olave completely, and then with AJ Dillon and Waddle, it kind of depends on what league you're in. Yardage, and I have no idea. So yardage Waddle, because I seriously would not be surprised if Waddle has like a 8-catch, 180-yard day. I wouldn't be surprised because Tyreek Hill's out. I also am not sold on the Vikings secondary at all. I think he could have a huge seriously, Waddle could have over 150 yards receiving easily, especially with Tyreek Hill out. If Tyreek Hill plays, Waddle still has a big day because Tyreek Hill's not going to be 100%. Can I get the fly like this? Damn it. Almost got him. So I would go with Waddle. Again, if your league is really pro touchdown, because Dillon, I think, is more likely to score a touchdown. Love Bailey Zapp. For those of you who don't know, if you've been into chat, a lot of people in the chat have really were high on Bailey Zapp. Here's the deal: this is a guy who threw for like a gajillion yards at Western Kentucky, set all sorts of records, just a natural passer. The reason why he was a 4th-round pick and didn't go higher, doesn't have that NFL arm. This is a guy who's probably going to be in the NFL for like 20 years as a backup quarterback. The thing is that he's a guy, and by the way, Van Blitz, I didn't have a chance to do as much show prep as I wanted to do before I came on. I don't know the injury report for the Patriots. I'm under the impression that Mac Jones is going to start, but I love Bailey Zapp because he's a natural passer. Give you a kind of a comparison here, and Case Keenum. Okay, I almost forgot. So Case Keenum. Case Keenum at Houston set NCAA records, threw for like, I think it was like 18,000 yards. Remember, he also had like a 6-year red shirt. God, that fly is just driving me nuts. All right, so I mean, there's kind of an exception. He played a lot more games than the standard quarterback would, but he set all sorts of NCAA records. Remember, he had that MVP season where he didn't win the MVP. He was a candidate at Minnesota, the Minneapolis Miracle. Then he went to the Rams and really just, he's a backup quarterback. That's what Bailey Zapp's probably going to be. He's a guy that can come in, that can win some games. Not an NFL starter. Love that fact he's a natural passer. It just comes natural to him. Just not the big time arm that it takes to be a starter. If you notice the Patriots' history with Jimmy Garoppolo, Jacoby Brissett, what they do is they get these quarterbacks, put them in a position that they can win. They can put them in a position where they have some success. Then they go ahead and move on from them. And that's what's going to happen with Bailey Zapp. He's not going to be in New England long, probably 2 or 3 years. And that depending on where he goes, he may get a chance to start. I don't think that would be smart because I think that he's a guy that should stay in the NFL for 20 years. By the way, listen, you could stay in the NFL 20 years as a backup quarterback. The guy in LA, he was in Kansas City for a long time, drawing a complete blank. Chase Daniels made like $60 million in the NFL and mostly a backup quarterback. Love Bailey Zapp. And if he's smart, stays in the NFL 20 years, probably makes over $100 million. No bullshit. I mean, with salaries increasing, a backup quarterback getting, 5 to 8 million makes a lot of sense. So I love Bailey Zapp. I have no idea if he's starting this week. You think there's a team that would trade for the Giants, Kenny Golladay? Yes. 6th, 7th. It would be a very small pick. I think Chicago would maybe be interested, and I say maybe. I'm not really sure what their plans are, but Chicago would be the first team that would come to my mind for Kenny Golladay. Another team that may be kind of a dark horse would be Tampa Bay. They've had all sorts of injuries, and I think they really want to get Brady some help. A guy like Golladay, a big-bodied guy, may be able to step in and help out immediately. I don't know the Tampa Bay receiving core health, but I know they've had a lot of injuries. That's a team that I think could also do it. You also may go for a team like New England. A team like New England may just because Tristan Thompson, their second-round pick's been banged up. I think he's going to be healthy either this week or next week. But if he's not, Golladay and Patricia know each other. Patricia's running that offense. And the thing is, though, you get a big receiver. You'd have to work something out with the contract because New England's not going to eat that contract. But New England would give up, a late-round draft pick. 6 would be the highest. But there's a handful of teams that Golladay would be a nice fit for. Man, Tim, welcome, brother. It's glad that you're here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And man, tell us a little bit about yourself if you like. I'd love to know who you're a fan of. And man, I'm glad you're here, man. I'm glad you're here. Would the Giants have to give up draft picks in the first 4 rounds to trade Golladay? Give up draft picks? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that they could move Golladay for like a 6 or a 7, but that's what you're doing. You're just trying to get a body because here's a guy who's not starting, but he's capable of starting. So, if I'm New York, just get a body because what you're doing is that when you're a young team or you have a first time head coach, all right, you want to get as many draft picks as you can. You want to get as many bodies as you can. That's why a 6th or a 7th makes a lot of sense. You just want to get a body. Take a look at Detroit. They used their 6th round pick on I'm sorry, my allergies are really bothering me. On Martinez, he's starting. And that's why you want to get that body. You never know what you're going to get. Waddle third string is tough, and Dillon sitting behind Jones tough as well. Well, Dillon and Jones have been playing together, and the reason why with Waddle and a third string doesn't matter is because Miami's been very creative with like end arounds, slip screens, and just slants. Like that's why I think Waddle could blow up, even though you have a third string quarterback. And by the way, I don't know this. I don't know who's starting, and I don't think it matters. I still think that Waddle, yardage wise, is going to have a big day. Yeah, this was his senior season. This was Bailey Zapp's senior season at Western Kentucky. Oh, there's a bunch. As of today, the two top ones are CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. I finally remembered his name. Those are 1 and 2, and the Giants could get very creative in trading up, and I can see the Giants actually doing that. Now they would have to give up quite a bit. Here's the thing: I think the Giants are a mirage. I don't think they're going to continue to be a serious playoff contender. So I think they're going to fall off. And I'm going to say, let's just say pick number 15. So you'll probably have to go from 15 to 5, somewhere in the top 5 to get your guy. So that's kind of what you're looking at. Damn it, I missed him. So anyway, that's kind of what you're looking at. You're going from 15 to 5. So you're going to have to trade up. And the question is, do you want to give up players? Do you want to give up draft picks? It'll be very interesting to see what they do. But CJ Stroud's probably going to be number 1. Now, the exception would be if Bryce Young goes number 1. And there's talk about, I'm regurgitating this from Good Morning Football. If Bill O'Brien takes over Carolina's the number 1 pick. Bryce Young goes with Bill O'Brien to Carolina. Kind of makes sense because they have a good relationship with each other. But CJ Stroud is probably going to go number 1. I think his name's Will Levis, the Kentucky quarterback. He's been banged up. I think he's going to play this week. Somebody who I respect on Twitter, does a lot of sports betting. He bet $1,000 that this will be the number 1 pick. He got 40 to 1 odds. After he made that bet, it dropped from 25 to 1. But there's this kid apparently has a ton of potential. I have not watched enough college football this year, but as you know, Gary, when draft time comes around, I'm going to do a lot of draft stuff. I'm already looking at mock drafts, and this is going to be a really good first round. Like, I think it's going to be like a top heavy draft. I don't know if it's a deep draft, but it's a top heavy draft. There's some good running backs. There's probably, it looks like there's going to be 2 running backs that are going to go in the first round, maybe higher than people think. There's some good receivers. There's a couple good corners. Can't believe I'm forgetting his name. The linebacker out of Alabama is the best player in the draft. Several quarterbacks are going to go in the first round. So, yeah, I mean, it really depends, but I do think that the Giants could easily draft a quarterback. The kid out of Kentucky, I've heard comparisons to Josh Allen. That would kind of be what I'm thinking because he would be the 3rd quarterback taken in the draft. Anthony Richardson, that's good. That's an interesting because nobody really knows where to put Anthony Richardson. I've heard top 10. I've heard 3rd round. DJ Smith, I'm not even going to try as a guy I absolutely love. There's been a lot of slander on him, but this is a guy I think that you could throw into an NFL team as a rookie, and I think you could get by. This is also a guy at for those of you that don't know, he's like 250 and can move and has an NFL arm. He's the type of guy that Brian Daboll would absolutely love. Same thing with Anthony Richardson. So, Galladay to LA. Normally, the only thing I don't know is uh, um, Allen Robinson hasn't worked out. I actually think it's more likely OBJ goes back there. That's my opinion. I don't see that, but I could also I don't see it, but it could work. It could work. I think to answer Gary's question, like who could New York move on from? I definitely think Galladay. That like if I'm New York, Galladay. I'm really embarrassed. I love this guy coming out of Florida, and I'm drawing a complete blank on his name. Um, God, who the hell is it? I'm really just drawing a complete blank. I'm so Kadarius Toney. He's out. Okay, so that's an injury issue. But bottom line, I think Galladay would be the number one guy that you want to move. Kadarius Toney, it may be hard to move him because he's an injury issue. But that's a guy I just absolutely love that they, for whatever reason, don't want to use. So that's just my opinion. Do you like KJ Jefferson, quarterback Arkansas, as possible fit for the Giants in the first round? Reminds me of Cam Newton. No, and the reason why is I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. I watched him play last year. Now I'm told he looks a lot better this year, but when I watched him last year, he's an NFL fullback, maybe a running back. For those of you that don't know, KJ Jefferson's like 6'2", 245. There was nothing about him last year that looked like an NFL quarterback. He was completing like 50% of his passes, even though they had Trayvon Burks, who I had as my number one wide receiver. He was 18th overall pick by the Titans, and he's still completing 50%. His arm motion was garbage. He would have to change a lot. I haven't watched Arkansas play yet this year, but last year he's not even an NFL quarterback, but he has enough athleticism they can make an NFL roster as a fullback or running back because he's 240 and can move. But he's a guy that I absolutely love to watch. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. Now, if his completion percentage goes up from 50 to like 65, 70 this year, I'll revisit that, but nothing about his throwing motion resembled an NFL quarterback. This is a guy. You have to understand something. When you're a college passer and you're running a college style offense and you're completing 50% of your passes, you can't play quarterback in the NFL. You just can't. It doesn't matter. And his throwing motion was nowhere close. Like he has arm strength, but he would have to fix so much. Jalen Hurts had to go through a big change from Alabama to Oklahoma. Like it was just night and day difference. But then after he left Oklahoma, between that and the combine, he changed so much in his throwing motion that he deserved to be a second round pick. KJ Jefferson would have to do something like that. This is a guy who I love to watch. I loved watching him last year. This is not a guy who can play quarterback in the NFL from what I saw last year. Now, if he changed things around, maybe this here's the thing is I think he's listed at 6'2". He's probably closer to 6'1", but he's legitimate 240. I would love to see this guy play running back. Nothing resembles an NFL quarterback from his throwing last year. I haven't watched him play this year. So if he's changed and it is possible to tighten things up, but he'd have to do all of that. But as from what I saw last year, he's not even draftable as a quarterback. Levi, he has to beat Mississippi State this week with some big numbers. Levi, the most overhyped quarterback for next year. AR not ready for. Well, I agree with you about AR, but if he has a chance to go in the first round, I think you got to take him. The thing is with both AR and Levi is that I really think that if you're the Baltimore Ravens, and you can't do anything with Lamar Jackson. He's set on making $50 million a year. I look at one of these guys and say, hey, we're just going to move on and take one of these guys. I could actually see AR stepping into the Baltimore Ravens offense and really not going down too much. Now, keep in mind, because you're not paying Lamar Jackson all that money, you can add building blocks at different positions. That would be what I would do if I was the Baltimore Ravens, even though I love the way Lamar Jackson plays. I don't see a way that you can give a guy like Lamar Jackson $200 million guaranteed. By the way, I do think that is what's going to happen. I think he signs with Baltimore. They work out the contract. He stays there. But if I'm Baltimore, I play hardball and I say, look, I can take one of these rookie quarterbacks. I can spend the extra 30 to 40 million a year on building blocks around a rookie. But ultimately, I think he's going to sign with Baltimore. Golden Rooster, what's up, brother? After this last incident with Davante Adams, he's officially a Raider. For those of you who don't know, after the game, he shoved an NFL employee, a cameraman. Some asshole on social media said that he shouldn't have walked in front of him. Dude, it's a big tunnel. You can walk around. Guy was doing his job. Maybe he was in the wrong place. Doesn't matter. You don't push people because they walk in front of you. There was talk because the Jackson County Police Department issued a citation, and the guy's going to press charges. And I like the fact Davante Adams apologized. It doesn't look like he's going to be suspended, but I think he is fined. It'll be I haven't found out. I should know more about that Golden Rooster, but I apologize. I didn't have a chance to do a lot of show prep today, so like injury report and things like that, like up to the minute news, I didn't get a chance. Clemson's line was trash last year. DJ couldn't. Yeah, exactly. This is a guy who should be in the first round. He was my prediction 2 years ago to be the number one pick in this draft. He probably won't go number one, should go in the first round. And a team like the Giants, I think, would be perfect. I think a team like Giants would be perfect. A big fan of KG, not sure. Yeah, I don't even think he's an NFL quarterback, but you've watched more. You watched more college than I have. I haven't even watched him play this year. When I saw of him last year, he's not even an NFL quarterback. He's a guy that, by the way, this happens a lot more than you think, where a guy plays an option type quarterback, comes into the NFL. Jared McKinnon was a quarterback at Georgia Southern. He just came into the NFL, played running back. So, yeah. Are the Eagles legit? Lots of people saying they actually suck. Haven't been watching them, man. Hey, Golden Rooster, because you haven't been here for a while, and it's so good to have you back, man. It was funny. I was talking to a Denver Gator, and I was like, "Yeah, man, Golden Rooster. He's been with me for like 4 or 5 years." I think the Eagles are legit. I think that they're the best team in the NFC. I think they're the best team in the NFL because they're the only team that hasn't lost. I love the way the Eagles are built. Good defense, running ball. Jalen Hurts is MVP. A.J. Brown, legitimate number one. Drawing a blank here. Heisman Trophy winner, legitimate number 2. Really, really good team. Really good team. I think the Eagles win. I don't know if I would bank on them to cover 6.5. But I think the Eagles are legitimately they're the best team in the NFC. Now, come playoff time, are they going to be able to beat Brady or Rodgers or Stafford? I don't know. But I think they are the best team in the NFC. But once playoffs start, then it's a different story. But yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Do you see a Jets trading for DK Metcalf if they go on a playoff run? That's actually pretty interesting. I don't know. That's a real good one. And here's the deal. Seattle would have to be on full rebuild mode, and I don't think they are. So I don't think Seattle I don't think Seattle really would want to trade DK Metcalf because I don't think they're convinced that they're on full rebuild mode. I think that they're convinced that they can go ahead and compete, and technically they can. They're right in the mix. Excuse me. They're right. Matter of fact, it's kind of funny. You remember I was talking about I would bet on this game at 2. It's actually jumped up to 2.5 as I'm doing the video. So another thing I'm watching on. I don't think Seattle would do it. Could the Jets make a move? Well, keep in mind, they gave a lot of money on a free agent contract to the kid from Corey Davis. They drafted Jason, not Jason. They used the 10th pick overall on a wide receiver. I'm drawing a blank on names today. I'm having a real bad time with names. Ohio State kid. And then they also have a 3rd round pick from a couple years ago, a guy that I absolutely love that they don't like. But you also, so they have Denzel Mims. They used a 3rd round pick on him a couple years ago. I love Denzel Mims coming out of Baylor, a 6'3", 210, ran like a 4.45 or a 4.42, something crazy, 45-inch vertical. Hasn't worked out. Second round pick from 2 years ago, Elijah Moore. This is a guy who's really fun and use Garrett Wilson. So I don't think so. But I also don't think I don't see the Jets really wanting DK Metcalf, and I don't think Seattle is ready to move on. So yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so if you've been watching the show, again, gonna pick on you because I haven't seen you in a while. Very, very glad you're here. I told everybody I knew that the Broncos were not going to be contenders. It's like putting a square peg in a round hole. Now with the injuries, I did have the Colts winning the AFC South, and as far as the AFC South is concerned, the question is going to be who's healthier, Jonathan Taylor or Derrick Henry. Whoever plays more games will win that division. I'm not buying the Jaguars, even though some people thought the Jaguars would be good. I did not. I have a lot of money invested on the Houston Texans to get the 6 wins. I have bets on Houston Texans 3.5, 4.5, and 5.5. So if they get 6 wins, I do pretty well. It's a tough division. I think the Colts still win that division. It wouldn't surprise me if they win. Keep in mind they have a tie, so they could be 8-1 and win that division. But yeah. I got to watch him play, man. I got to watch him play. Like I said, a guy that I really respect on Twitter put $1,000 on him to be the number 1 pick in the draft. And he's at the time it was 40-1. So $1,000 wins you 40,000. Now it's 25-1. And I don't even know what the odds are now. To answer your question though, Gary, there's several quarterbacks that could come in and start like day 1 starters in New York for 2023. If the Broncos fall out of contention at the deadline, could you see the Jets trade for Patrick Surtain to complement Ahmad Gardner in the secondary? Jets got the best young secondary yet. No, and the reason why is that the Denver Broncos love Patrick Surtain. Like that's a guy that they the other corner, Ronald Darby, he's out for the year, and they're never ever going to move on. I can't say ever. I'm sorry. They love Patrick Surtain. They're not going to move on from Surtain. With the Jets. So they got Sauce Gardner. Remember this offseason, they signed DJ Reed from Seattle. They gave him a lot of money. I believe he's still healthy, but I think that I definitely don't see Patrick Surtain. So I don't know, man. Just let Adams buy the guy a new camera, even though there's no. Yeah, you're right about this, but bottom line, there was no excuse to there's no excuse to push somebody for walking in front of you. It was a situation. The guy was wrong for walking. Like, he should have been paying attention. That's kind of his job. They're actually taught this, hey, don't do this. For whatever reason, Adams was delayed. I think that he was just talking to some of the Chiefs players or whatever. You don't push somebody like that. You don't do it. There was talk about him being suspended. I don't think he will, but he is going to be fined. And the case, the criminal charge, that will go away. In a couple of weeks, we're all going to forget about this. There's no way, especially with Darby being out. He's really good. He's really good. There is some talk in Denver by sports fans saying he's better than Ramsey, and it's like, slow down. But he's really good. He's really good. I wish your buddy give me 1K. I'd kick him in the balls. How about Patrick Surtain for DK Metcalf, since Seahawks could rebuild early? There's no way Denver would do this. And the reason why is Denver's receiving core is actually pretty solid. Now, Tim Johnson's hurt, but they got some good receivers. Bottom line, though, they love Patrick Surtain. Patrick Surtain is going to get – you never know, but Patrick Surtain's a guy I think is going to get re-signed by the Broncos almost ASAP. They love Patrick Surtain. Like, he's a big part of what they're wanting to do. A big part of what they're wanting to do. So there's no way Patrick Surtain gets out of Denver. I mean, a lot of things can happen over the next couple of years, but yeah. Finally, you know what? I didn't even talk about this. Monday Night Football, very underrated, very good game, partly because I'm a Chiefs fan. Denver at LA. LA's a 4.5-point favorite. Over under is 45.5. This is going to be a fun game because if Kansas City does lose and the Chargers win, both teams will be 4-2. The Chargers really believe that they're a Super Bowl contender. Of course, if you are a Kansas City fan, or you can say the same thing as a Denver fan, you hear the same thing all the time. You hear Chargers are going to win the AFC West. Chargers are a Super Bowl contender. It never ends up happening. So that's why this game's a lot of fun. However, if Denver wins this game, they're right in the thick of things. And all the talk about Russell Wilson and all the injuries, all that stuff goes away. This game's a fun game. This is going to be a good game. So the Thursday night games have been terrible. Sunday night, you got Dallas at Philly, and then you get Denver at LA for Monday night. So even though it's a terrible Thursday night game, and by the way, I mean, side note, I've never been a fan of Thursday night football to begin with. I think week 1 and Thanksgiving should be the only Thursday night games, but the NFL is going to continue doing Thursday games. And next week, Saints at Arizona is probably not going to be a fun one either. But man, the NFL did an A+ job with Sunday and Monday night. 2 really, really good games. So yeah, I think some people call Surtain the second coming of Champ Bailey. Yeah, I mean, seriously, they love. Seriously, out of everybody in Denver, like he's probably the least likely to be traded, except for Russell Wilson. Simmons is another guy that they just absolutely love. He's phenomenal. But yeah, Patrick Surtain's not leaving Denver. You never know. You never know. I mean, a new regime may take over, and they may want to just rebuild. But this is a guy who's got all the tools to be a lockdown corner. Don't buy the hype. He's not the best corner in football, but he's really good. There's no chance that Denver is going to move on from him this year. I would pretty much, I would bet just about whatever you want that he'll be re-signed probably in 2 years. So I mean, I like Denver's going to keep this kid is really going to be like the face of the Broncos defense for years to come. They love him. They love him, and they should. He's playing lights out. He's playing lights out. His dad played in Miami and also in Kansas City. I loved his dad in Kansas City, by the way. But yeah, he's going to be like the face of the Broncos defense for a long time. He's a good player. All right, so listen, I'm almost at 2 hours, and you can tell from me like I'm having some allergy issues. So, man, thank you so much for joining in. This is my favorite thing in the world to do. So I thank you all. Tim, you said you're new, man. Give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. I didn't see who you're a fan of. You don't have to share. I would love to know, because I always try to get the whole point of creating this channel is I want to get fans from all 32 fan bases so that I can learn inside information, and I can also offer you a some knowledge. I know something about all 32 teams. I can see the Broncos trading for DK Metcalf because they assigned Russell Wilson. No. And the reason why is they signed drawing a complete. I'm having a bad time with names here. So they signed so they got Tim Patrick, who's hurt. All right. And I'm really bad with names today. They got Jerry Jeudy, who just hasn't panned out yet, but they signed Courtland Sutton. That was the name I was thinking of. They signed Courtland Sutton to big time money. They really like Sutton. They also got KJ Hamler and Jerry Jeudy. These are guys that are I mean, Jerry Jeudy was a first round pick. Hamler was a second round pick just 2 years ago. Bottom line, they like their receivers. They really, really do. The only way this happens is if Jeudy ends up going. But I really don't think Seattle is ready to do this yet. I personally, if I was Seattle, I would blow up this team and just say, hey, we're going to rebuild. I don't think they want to do that. I think Seattle legitimately thinks that they can compete. And by the way, if they win against Arizona, then yeah. Oh yeah, he would be. But I mean, Sutton's a really good player. And Jerry Jeudy, he hasn't been able to pan out, but he's got all the tools. Would Metcalf's the number one receiver on almost every NFL team? But you're not wrong. I don't see it happening for either team. I really don't think Denver wants to bring in another wide receiver. They've given big time money to Sutton. They got two young receivers in Jeudy and Hamler. Tim Patrick was a guy that came out of nowhere, had a really big year last year. He's injured, but he's a guy that they really, really like. So I don't think I could see Denver making some moves, not at the wide receiver position. If Denver is going to make a move, it would be at right tackle. They really have a big hole there. And also remember, they signed Russell Wilson, that $250 million deal. Salary cap wise, I don't think they can handle Metcalf. And I also think Seattle is not ready to move on. I think Seattle really believes that they can still win. But seriously, if I was Seattle, I would blow the whole thing up and just rebuild. So I mean, I get it, but I don't see this as being a good trade. But I do love. I mean, Gary, I love these comments. So even though I disagree, I think these are fantastic. So man, it's always good to have you in the program. Now I'm going to wrap up. Guys, give me a thumbs up, and if you are new, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget. I'm going to be live Tuesday, not Wednesday. And also, don't forget to check out Dan Betts NFL. The link is below. I'm going to have that video out later tonight. And then once I put a bet on DraftKings, I'll have a separate video. That way, if you've never used DraftKings before, you know what to expect, because I've never used it. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you Tuesday.